All right, let's give it a start here and see if this is recording. All right, something's coming. Gotta start. There we go. We gotta start. All right. All right, I'm back to continue designing my enclosure. Since I left off, I've done a couple of things to it. One of which has been adding in or start designing the top. So with 2020 extrusion and acrylic, that'll be the door that we're going to be opening. So it's like an L-shaped door that both covers some of the top and some of the front, and that opens up. So that's kind of the idea here. And in that time as well, I've also realized that I'm going to have to change materials, going from 5/8 MDF to 1/2 inch plywood, both for reasons of sourcing and also painting the edges. I just didn't feel like doing extra prep work in terms of painting the edges on the MDF so they don't look crummy. And plywood would just paint better on the edges. And yeah. So with that, I also found out that actually I didn't account for the foam that would need to be on the inside for the insulation. So by losing that 1/8 inch on either side, I could then still get the tops to be 48 inches long, which is the width of a sheet of plywood. So that all landed coincidentally really nicely. It's as if I planned that, but I swear I didn't. So all of those have come together. Now, let's go in and let's continue designing here. So going back into Fusion, just going to close that up, center myself, and let's close up all of the other layers here. So our limits and our LongMill. I probably do want to keep the cart wherever that is. Where's the cart? Oh no, did I? I did, didn't I? Cart's right there. Okay, good. Woo. Should have just whatever. That's okay. I'll put the enclosure on top. There we go. All right, it's a little more easier for me. All right, let's finish up this enclosure. So what is here? So 5/8. I'm gonna just remove this layer entirely. Delete contents. I don't think you can see my tree actually now that I think about it. Which is, I guess, again, something I'm gonna have to work on, or probably just do like whatever screen share, full screen share instead of a just an app share. Okay, so if I'm looking at this, where was I? Turn the cart back on just for a second. Bottom. I said bottom. Thank you. Okay. Okay, so yeah, the foam you can see is going to have to go all the way down to the 2x4 frame, because I don't have a 1-inch material. I mean, I could, I guess, put in a 1-inch material till I close off that gap, but it's also possible that I'm just going to laminate the sheet of foam to the exterior plywood and then just screw it right into the 2x4. So it's just a matter of getting longer screws for that, and that's not a problem, which I already have, or just using longer screws. All right, because of the size difference, I need to expand these or extend these walls up. So I'm just gonna do this. Extrude. Nope, not what I wanted to do. I do not want another sketch. Finish sketch. I wanted to extrude this guy. This wall, bring it, extrude it up to here. But I'm gonna just turn off all my other layers. That was the left panel. And foam acrylic. Yeah, okay, nothing else is touching it, I don't think. except maybe the cart. Turn off the cart as well. Okay, good. All right, that's been up. Now I'm gonna do the rest of them. Right. Straight to that height. Turn off the fronts and the back. Cool. Turn off the right. Turn on the left. Nope. Turn on the right. Cool. Open the back. I'm kind of just doing a back and forth so that nothing is touching, and I just don't have to deal with. See, I wanted to join with the previous body, but I don't want it to join to any other body. So I'm sure there's probably a way for Fusion to do this that's not this so back and forth. But what can I do? I mean, I guess a push-pull would be fine, but at the same time, I also don't know the exact distance, which I guess you should just know the exact distance and just type it in. But again, it's one of those, I don't know what tool I prefer best at this point. Nothing provides me the exact. That's the front right. No, front left. At the top. Okay, now they are all extended. Great, great, great. Good, good, good. All right. Yeah, so the top has stayed at, the top surface has stayed at the same exact point that everything else was, that it was before when it was at 5/8, but it's just now at a higher surface. Everything is now just thinner with the material. So, and everything's still matching up. So yeah, what I was talking about before was that because of the 1 inch to the right and left that I have to add, because I just don't, I couldn't just fit it in because the LongMill was so close to the walls already, which I thought I accounted for, but I guess I didn't. I needed to move the right and left walls out by 1 inch each on each side. And so because of that, I was pretty much stuck with making sure that this length made 48 inches. And not stuck, but it would just maximize the amount of plywood that or maximize the material. And I really didn't want to start getting more plywood than I needed to, given the fact that it's like triple the cost of what plywood used to be, even like 2 years ago. So this way, I ensure that this top and these two pieces can literally be on from the same piece of plywood, and potentially I'm thinking this whole sheet, like this whole enclosure, can be from one piece of plywood. So I'm actually just double checking right now. So I've got that at 28 1/4, and I've got this at another 28 1/4. That's cool how that happened. I didn't realize that would be 28 1/4, and then that would also be 28 1/4. Perfect. All right. So I'm gonna need 2 times 28.25 by 48. So of a sheet of plywood, I'm gonna need 2 cuts, A cut, B cut. So I'm just writing this down on the side. 28 1/4, 28 1/4. So the 2 28 1/4s, that means I still have, I think I had 1 sheet of plywood. I might be able to cut out most of this, which is kind of nice. Let me just see what I got here on this sheet. So that is 27. And the height is going to be the same, right? 28 1/4? Should be. 28 1/4. Okay. So if I had another... I'll get my phone here, cut it out. So I'm just going to do some math as well. 28.25 times 2. We're at 56 plus 28.25. We're at 84. That's still under the 96 that I have. 96 inches for the full 8 feet. So if I had a cut C at 28.25, that's a nice easy cut afterwards that I can do. Right? 27. Yeah, I can get 27 times 2. No, I can't. Damn. Okay, 27 times 2. No, I can't. Okay, so I can't get 2 sheets out of that. Damn. All right, I am going to have to get 2 sheets of material. Or can I? Wait, what do I have left then? How can I arrange this? I need 2 times. Now I need 2 times 28.25 times 27 for the side panels. So how can I get that out of this, the remainder of this plywood? So I have 48 inches by 96 minus 28.25 minus 28.25. I have 39.5. All right, I definitely cannot get both sheets out of the remainder. So I'm going to need 2 sheets of plywood. Ah, such a bummer. Okay. So if I got 2 sheets of plywood, I'm going to have so much extra, though. That's the thing. Sorry, friends. I'm just going to think about this for a little minute. Okay. So if I get 2 pieces out of that, sorry, it's a lot of thinking. If anyone's watching this, you'll be bored out of your mind. Because, all right, I'm going to try to talk out loud while I'm doing this. So it's only 39.5 and by 48. And I need 2 of the 28.25 by 27. I can't stack them on top of each other because neither of those dimensions work out to 48. And even less so for the 39. So out of that remainder, I can only pull out some of one of those two. So yes, I can pull out one of those two plus like a hell of a lot of waste. So it might just be easier then that I get them to make another cut at Home Depot. I'm gonna get them to make another cut at 28 1/4. So that way, yeah. So I get another 28 1/4 cut. 28 1/4. And then at the studio, I can cut the 48 down to 27. So that'll be cut D, which I'm going to do at home. Rather at the studio on my own. And so the remainder of the 39 is going to be 39.5 minus 28.25, and that leaves me with 11.25. So do I have anything here that's 11.25? Perhaps these ones are 7.37. Sure. And this is a 28. All right. So those remaining panels, I can probably get out of the remainder of the D, out of that, after I do my cut at home. So let's say I have 48 minus 27. That'll leave me 21. Perfect. That's just, those are about, so I'm going to do E and F. All right, so those are going to be that. So I'm going to have a remainder there, but I'm going to have another sheet of plywood that I also cut at 28.27 and then do another cut on my own. So that's A, B, C, D, E, F, G as a cut at 27. So I'm going to clean that up. Okay. How much more plywood do I have left? Not a ton. I could look at then doing these guys on the bottom here, which I don't know exactly. Looking at my model, I feel like I've screwed something up with the measurements or have made this enclosure way too tall or something. So that's something I'm going to have to really think about or double check. So that's going to be 30.875. So I think that for the bottom enclosure section, I'm going to have to hold off until I get to the studio to double check my heights and measurements. I thought I got everything right. Probably didn't, but maybe I did, or something else is not right. Doesn't matter. I'm going to figure that out, see what's not properly measured, and then adjust that. So I think it might just be that. And the reason why I say that is because when I look at, let me close up the enclosure. When I look at my limits here, and I make everything visible, you see here that the SLA enclosure and the wall and everything else is like just under the bottom, and my enclosure actually goes all the way to the bottom. So my two questions are, did I overestimate the height of this enclosure? If so, how much more space do I have at the top? Or did I make this measurement? So there's a couple of measurements I have to check out. What's the actual distance that I have from the top of the shelf to the ground? Does my enclosure fit under there with the cart that I have already? And if not, what do I have to fix? So I'm going to probably do that off screen once off camera, once I do get to the studio today. So my goal today is to get these measurements down. What do I need? Get to the studio, take a couple more measurements and that kind of stuff, get to the store and see what they have available, how easy is it for them just to do a few cuts, because I know Home Depot will do a cut or two, but I don't know if they'd want to do like 3 or 4 cuts. But I feel like if it's simple, it's like all the cuts that I want are a 28 and a quarter, bam, 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 get that cut down, get the rent, and double check on the rest of the materials. And this is where I could also probably like plan out getting the rest of the materials as well, as to what I need. So the next step will probably be the foam. So again, not super engaging as a video right now because I'm doing a lot of thinking, but this is also kind of what I want to get at, is just the not fun stuff, or not really like content friendly sort of approaches to things, and just the realization that you can do these kind of things too, or this is how people just sit there and think about it. Honestly, some people probably sit there and think about it a lot less and get to the conclusions a lot quicker. I'm just an idiot and I take a lot of time, and that is totally fine because I'm just going to keep on going. And the more I move forward, the more I can get done, and just, putting in the effort. And everyone's like, oh yeah, think smart, don't think hard. When you can't think smart, what else do you have? Just work hard. It's okay. Like, it's okay to just work hard. At least that's what I tell myself, and I'm just gonna keep going. Whenever I can't work smart, I'm gonna work hard. And yeah, it's tiring, but I don't want to get paralyzed in not doing things, and sometimes that does happen to me. So enough of that tangent, back to this. All right, so I think I have everything, right? So the 1 and 2 panels, so top and back, side, the first side, so the left panel will be cut out by the C cut that they're going to do over there, a 28 and 28 and a quarter. And then of that, what's cut off, I can cut at home the front 2 panels. Those will easily fit because they're also 28 and a quarter high, and they're like 7 and something across, which there's 21 inches left there. So a little less than 21 inches because of the curve of the blade. So I'll have enough. And so then each of these, so panel 1, panel 2, panel 3, 4, 5, there's going to be 6 left over, 7 left over. And then on board number 2 is going to be 6, 7, 8. Panel number 8 is what I need as well. So I'm just going to write this down in terms of panels. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 will be the spare. 9 will also be left over, so for another project. So a couple more pieces for another project, which is nice. I'm going to see what I can do of those. Get some coffee. All right, 28.25 times 48. That'll be my top. 28.25 times 48 will be my back. And so yeah, the top I am going to have to, at the studio, measure where these corners are right here. And let me just remove the rest of my limits. Measure where these corners are right here so that I can cut this out. I'm not sure how I'm going to do that. I might router it out. I might... Depends what I'm going to do. Might router, might jigsaw. I'll probably just jigsaw and just put a track to it and just go to town. Drill the holes, go to town, do that. And probably just like chisel the corners so that the 2020 can fit. So I've got enough 2020 aluminum extrusion. It's black, and I could probably do a cross bracing on the front as well, just like I did here, but I'm going to have to buy a couple more brackets. So either I find some brackets and I 3D print them, which is not a bad option, and then I don't have to worry about that. I've got some metal ones. What I might do is I might use the metal ones for the exterior components, and then just use the 3D printed ones for the center bracing, because it's not gonna it shouldn't hold any weight. It should just like keep everything tightly torsioned so it doesn't actually flop around. I feel like this is probably gonna hold well together. I think so. I think it's gonna. I don't see any kind of like wibbly wobbly. The other thing I want to think about is the hinge on the top here. What do I want to use for the hinge? I've got a couple hinges that I can use. I'll see if I'm going to buy anything else on Amazon for that. So maybe like do 4 hinges on the top here. Inside of the grooves, I'm going to add some gaskets to sort of seal it a little bit more. So I feel like that's going to be good. If the gaskets are too thin, then I'm just going to like 3D print some parts that I can just like slide into there, or cut it like a strip of melamine or MDF or whatever that's super thin, so I can just slide it in and have that as a backer, and tape up and glue in the gaskets. For this thing not to go down, for the door not to just like close or like drop any further, I'm gonna put some of these brackets here, and possibly something on the cart as well, so that when it closes, it kind of just like sits on that edge. So I might add another piece of material right there, and that's where the 2020 is probably just gonna like end up sitting a little bit. I don't have a lot of space to come out in the front or back, so I'm not going to extend those, and that's going to be fine, because then I have that inch space for the long mill, which let's just double check that while I'm saying that. Let's just turn off the top, look up from the top. I'm just going to collapse all of my layers here, turn off construction just to see. I should have enough. I should have an inch right about there. And I definitely have an inch back here, so that's good. And it looks like the drag change should be okay. Nothing else is going to be past those limits, so I think I should be fine. Actually, on the long mill, do I have drag chain? What's that? The controller. What's that? E-stops. Yeah, I guess that's it. All right, so E-stop and control box I'll put somewhere else. Perfect. And MDF board I'll remove. Let me just see the MDF board again. All right, so that's my work area, which is totally cool. Totally cool. So as far as like T-tracks that I have, I've got like 24-inch T-tracks, so they're going to go all the way to the back. I bought extra with, yes, I could probably just cut them down so that they're full 12 inches of the work holding, and that's all I need to worry about. But I felt like I should probably have longer T-tracks. I'm just going to put them in, and the waste board that I'm going to have within this area and just outside of this area of the MDF is not going to be as big. So they are going to extend further than what's needed. But it's because I'm thinking, hey, if in the future I need those T-tracks for something else, or you know what, I do decide it's coming down the line and I really don't need that much T-track, I'll take them out then and I'll cut them down. And I'll repurpose the extension or the leftover somewhere else. But for now, I didn't want to make that call, and I'm okay with having extra T-track on stock. In that case, it's just not utilized or not utilized, but at least it's there and available. If you can't tell, I don't like to waste material, but I also don't beat myself up if I make a mistake. If I lose material, it just happens. It's a design. I'm flawed. I'm human. I'll make mistakes, but I don't want to purposefully go into something just wasting material. So I want to repurpose as much as I have, as much as I can that I have. All right. Let's see, what else can I do here? So the top is fine. Nope, wrong one, wrong body, wrong body. Back into, close up the LongMill, back up into the enclosure. Open this up, open the top, close the top back on. Acrylic's also something I'm going to have to see. How much acrylic do I have? What's the thickness of the acrylic? I think I have the thickness of the acrylic correct, if I remembered right, but I'm going to have to measure that at the studio and then move this entire assembly up or down, and thus the front assembly up or down a bit, and thus the lip up or down a bit. So all that is there. Oh, that's cool. I just did little lines, little extrusions. For the computer, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a little like clip that sits outside of here. Not say clip, but like a little ledge, basically, that I'm going to just screw into this side panel, the left panel. And that way, whatever mounting bracket, I got to look at the mounting brackets too, for like a laptop stand. I do want something that like swivels, not swivels, but like an arm sort of approach, kind of like the boom arm for the mic. So something like that kind of like tucks away, or that I can like close up and like push to the side and like tuck away a bit. Because if I have everything, when everything is tucked away, I have this space right here between these two walls to actually have like some room to either work on something or not to work on something, but like I can tuck it away so that there's extra space there. But then I also have this doorway here that gets into the back of my studio, and that is like 2.5 feet, something like that. So I have a bit of space there. When I pull it out, I can still work on something, so it's not a big problem. I am already really, just looking at this now, I know this is not much to a lot of people, but I am sort of proud of this. It is going to look really cool with this enclosure and this entire cart system with the SLA enclosure that I have next to it, which is just a box here, but in my studio is more developed and looks a lot more like this, a lot like the CNC enclosure. And like I had a lot less restrictions when I'm building the SLA enclosure. I really just had to make sure that it was like, it followed the size of the cabinet. It was a metal cabinet that I found. And so I just had to make sure that the footprint that sat on top of it, that it drilled into the metal cabinet, and that it was tall enough to ensure that I could put this SLA printer inside, lift the top off all the way, still have breathing room so I don't knock anything at the top. So that was all like requirements that I had. The door I'm not particularly proud of. It's very flimsy. The acrylic is just like wobbling all over the place when I open it up and close it up. So I'm gonna have to think about how to strengthen that up and just make a better door out of that. That's a future problem. It's okay right now. All right. Let's see here. And this is another thing. I am also comfortable with the idea of iteration. And I'm confident in the idea of iteration without a ton of waste. I feel like a lot of the things that I can make, I can then repurpose. A couple things that I feel like I can kind of like fix. Anything that I feel like is like, yeah, this is going to be it, I'm going to also paint. So it's kind of like I'm not going to want to repurpose it later on. Some of the stuff that I know is going to be temporary, I'm not going to paint. And therefore, I'm going to allow it to be something that I can just take apart. So that's why I don't glue a lot of things either, because I feel that I'm going to be able to just take out the holes and repurpose it. And because this is a shop, none of this is final product. I'm not worried about those imperfections and those blemishes. It's a version. I want this shop to be organic and reforming as I need it, as my needs change as well. So it's going to be in flux, but it's less and less in flux as I keep working on it. I feel like more and more is in its place until I get a new space and until things grow and expand. I'm hoping that it will grow and expand, and that's when things are going to have to be changed. But I'm also taking into account that, like, hey, these are modular stations then. So if I grow a little bit and I keep these tools for the most part, then they could just roll in and roll out and I'll be good. Same thing with my desk. It's actually possible to move the entire shelf apparatus, removing it from the 2x4 shelves that I have in the studio, and it can be just rolled out and put into a new space. Right now, it's too tall for the door, so I would have to lean it and get it out. But it's doable. I could just decide I'm gonna just like hacksaw that top like 1.5 foot, and it fits through the door now. So also a possibility. Things like that. That's the kind of like modularity that I want to have, where I can say everything is on casters, so I'm going to roll it all out into a truck and move it somewhere else, or I can move it down the street. And I can roll it down the street, roll it down the hallway if I move into a new studio within the same space as well. So that's also a possibility. I do have the intention to share a space at some point, maybe with someone. I have a couple friends at work that I'm thinking would be good space mates to work on stuff, because they themselves want to work on things, or they themselves want to have like a studio space. So it might be something that they'd be interested in, and they're into 3D printing, both SLA and FDM, and they're very good at it. And so that way they can have a home for all of their work. And they can feel more comfortable about it too. We can have a larger space. I'm happy with sharing my things with people who are responsible, and these people are. So I'm like, you know what? I wouldn't be opposed to that. Even if we're not, working or collaborating, we can share space and we can use it together. So I'm okay with that. Anyway, all right. So what else do I have to think about here? Back to the enclosure. Back to the material here. So top and back done. Number 3 will be 28 by 28.25 by 27. So that's going to be our left panel. Let's call that, and then our right panel is also 28 by 28.25 by 27, and that is my right panel, but that's going to be panel number 9. And then I'm going to have 4 and 5, which will be our weird cuts there. What is that? That is 375 would probably be 3/16. I think that's 3/16. 3 divided by 16 is nope. 3 divided by 8. Nope. Yes. 3/8. All right. So that's 3/8. So that's 7 and 3/8. So 7 and 3/8. 3/8. By 28 and quarter. So that's going to be front left and front right. Also 7 and 3/8 by 28 and 2/5. And then 6 and 7 are spare. And panel number 8 is our right panel. Right. So I'm going to remove that. So right now I'm just writing everything down, but I'm going to write it all down into the into the book. which I'm also going to make into my iPad, which I'm also just going to make a checklist then. So it's going to be a bill of materials, at store cuts, additional cuts, list of parts, and then assembly. So that's kind of like my logical processes. I want to plan this out a little bit more just to make sure that I'm not goofing anything up. So from the 3D models, I can ensure that nothing is going to interact improperly. Everything is and should be at the measurements that they are. I'm then also thinking at the restrictions of, the curve of the blades, as well as, purchasable materials and what can be cut from what. The foam is not going to be an issue with cutting. I can just do that with an X-Acto blade, and that's going to be good. I do want to get the foam that actually has like a silver backing to it. So then that way there's just more reflectivity inside. So when I do put in lights, everything kind of reflects, which is going to be nice. I have to think about lighting as well for this and where that's going to go. The problem is I don't have a lot of space, so I might have to think about having then lighting near the back and the sides, but then also in the front, kind of pointing towards the CNC from the front corners pointing in. I also want to include a camera in here, so then that way I can monitor it. Even when I'm at my desk, I can pull up a little web page and just see that. And I can, I know there's I think there's some software and some Raspberry Pi stuff that are kind of like akin to Octoprint. So I kind of want to incorporate that eventually as well. It's just like a lot of things that I still have left to do with this, and like my goal is to be up and running before Christmas so that I can start making some presents for people, and that would be kind of my personal goal. So not even commercialized anything, just really doing enough to sell as presents, or not even sell as presents, just give away as presents for friends and family. I know my mom has a couple hobbies that she's into, so I got to think about what can I CNC cut for her that would be useful for her to use to make. So whether that is, I don't know, like clamping mechanism might be cool that I can CNC. I don't know, maybe something like that. She might be into. That's kind of like just the first thing in my head. So spare. Let me go back to this spare. Also, if you can't tell, I bounce around a lot when I'm working on things. So I'm like, oh, my thought goes there, But this is kind of what I want to do, and yeah, I'm like blindly believing in the idea that you don't necessarily have to have an engineering sort, like a stereotypical, like focused on fact engineering mind, and everything just gets done. Being able, or like allowing yourself to bounce around, can be part of your process, and that is okay. And you can probably still achieve a lot, even with that kind of mind frame, and that's okay. Yes. Acceptance here. That's what Make Therapy is going to be all about. Just being accepting of who you are when you make, and just, going at it. Okay. Let's see here. All right. I think I've visualized a lot of what I want. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and then H. I'll do at home. Okay. Okay. I think this will be good. Yeah, and so like when I'm going to be building this, I think the order of operation is, once I get this, I'm going to cut down the rest of the pieces. I'm then going to start painting all of them so that each of the panels is well, actually, I'm going to screw, or I'm going to rather drill the pocket hole screws. And I think I want to try to get all the pocket hole. Oh, shit. Am I going to have to get the pocket hole screws on the outside? Yeah, I am. Damn. I didn't want that. I kind of want to keep this nice and finish. Hold on. Let me think about this. If I have pocket hole screws... Because pocket hole screws work best when... Come on, let me go here. Let me zoom in. Pocket hole screws work best when this panel, for example, it's going to go in diagonally and go into the meat. So go towards the panel at an angle. So it would be as if it's... Let me just close this. Let me just do something real quick. I'm going to do a sketch. That's not going to matter very much, but let me just do that and turn it. So imagine we are doing a on this panel down here. We're going to be drilling into it like that, so that it goes into the meat of it. And we wouldn't want it the other way around. Like we wouldn't want it from the inside. So let me just remove the top here. Enclosure. Remove the top panel. We wouldn't want it, let's say, if I was drilling in from here, going in like this, because then that has a less of a connection. Whereas if I was doing it from here and going in like this, it's going into the other board with more meat to hang on to. So there's less meat to hang on to this, more meat to hang on to that. And that's... all right, so I can't have my pocket holes on this side aesthetically. So that's my next question is, can I make an aesthetic compromise? Do I just keep the pocket holes on the outside and do that? Or didn't mean to add that H, I apologize. Or I can't do it that way. And that's not going to work. As far as with the cart, I am just going to like drill straight through the front into the cart here. Into these 2x4 pieces. So there's going to be like pieces like that. So riveting like that. I mean, do I get then aluminum? No, that aluminum was expensive actually that I was thinking of. There's 1-inch aluminum strips that I could use that I could cover these corners. So it's 1 inch on each side basically, and I could spray paint those nice and blue, and they could be like trim all the way around, which would be cool. And like create like a bumper, and then I don't have to worry about painting the edges. I could just paint these guys all white and it's all kind of done. And also I could just use screws just to go straight into it, like from end to end here, like from the face into the into the wood opposite that. So that's possibly what I could do. Shoot. All right, I guess I could do that. But I don't want to add another material. Strength is more important to me than looks. Optionally, then, I could do pocket holes and then plug them. However, that also kind of looks dumb. I'm okay with just having holes, the pocket hole screw holes right in there. Yep, it's an aesthetic compromise I have to make. All right, it's gonna be more industrial. Cool. That's what I'm gonna have to do. So, pocket holes on this side, pocket holes on that side, so the two sides actually hold hold quite a bit of it. The top, when I have the top on, how is that going to be screwed in? So the top also going up. All right, so pocket hole screws up here, pocket hole screws up here, pocket hole screws from the back. Let me remove the limits here. Nope, remove that. Let me go from the back here. Pocket hole screws from the back going up as well. So that's all things I'm going to have to include. I am going to have to decide on where a hole is going to be for the hose. So I need to also get hose extension. Hose for vacuum. Okay, so that's also something I'm going to have to incorporate. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to incorporate a sort of arm. I'm going to use I'm going to screw a Lazy Susan at the top of this, and it's just going to be a beam that's going to be screwed onto the other end of the Lazy Susan, and then that way the hose can be zip tied to that, and it can travel in like an arc. I was thinking it could travel like halfway on the body. Sorry, let me just open this back up. Enclosure, bodies, top panel. I was thinking if it's over in this corner over here, and it's swung out, and if it swung out like halfway, that would be cool. Actually, let me open up the MDF board just so I can. That's provided with the LongMill. The design, MDF board. All right, so that's my working area. So if it's over here and it is, let's say, circle, draw a circle on top, whatever. This is not it. Let's say it's, all right, so what would this be? This would have to be a 49-inch, 48-inch diameter. So 24, let's just make it 48. All right, so it's 48, so that means it's a 24-inch radius. So if it's pivoting from that corner, which it's going to be a little bit closer anyways, that radius there, so this is going to pivot like that. The hose underneath it has to have enough clearance, which, all right, it's down there. That doesn't count. So finish sketch. If it's up here, I feel like there's enough room for a hose to kind of like bend down and come in. So, yeah, that could be interesting. Let's say I'm gonna hold on. Let's take this guy right here. I'm gonna make him a sketch. I'm gonna draw a. It's gonna be 48 because I actually need it to be 24. Let's just presume a 24. Right now. So that means, you know, if the router was right here, this hole for the, I would have to make sure that, you know, when the router gets to over in this corner, on the far bottom right corner, if the opening is right on the, front, my words here. So yeah, if the router gets to the bottom right corner here, and the exit for the vacuum hose is on the back top left corner, then I have to make sure that it has both enough to on that swing arm, and also to come back to this corner, but also to go to that corner. So then I need to. So I need 24, minimum 24 inches, and I'm gonna need to finish that sketch. I'm gonna turn on the sketch here. I'm gonna try to see if I can do some kind of magic with this. Plane at angle? No, not doing it. Here, let's do this. Back into this sketch. I'm just going to do this roughly and like get some, whatever it is. All right, there. All right, so that line is finished. So I'm going to do that sketch. Now I'm going to do a try to do a plane at an angle. Where are you? Turn on my construction planes, rotate that by 90 degrees. And then take that and do another drawing. I might be wrong on this, but whatever. I'm gonna do a project both on this guy and this guy. Okay, and I'm gonna do another circle going from there to, nope, I'm gonna get another projection. Front, I'm gonna get it to, I don't care if I have a bit extra, because it has to like extend, but extend over the machine as well. So I'll, it's better that I have extra, because then I can just like cut off the hose and just make my own adapter to it, I think. I think. I'm right there. Yeah, that's okay. And then do a circle from there to there. So that's another 64 inches. So that's 32 inches is what I'd need. So it would be that plus that. Let me see if I can do like a spline kind of thing. There to like... something like that. And there. Nope. Shoot. Okay, let me try that again. Spline. Say that, and that'll be kind of like the arc it could take. It's likely that it's gonna take a sort of more hanging like this kind of thing. Something, it'd probably be more like that, and in reality, yeah, it would probably be more like that. And I could probably do a tangent from that line to that line, and that'd be fine. That's fine. All right. So what would be inspect? What's this length? That's 28 inches, so 14. Again, I'm okay with just like allowing that. And then if I mirrored that over to the other side, it would be enough. So I feel like, yeah, 14 inches probably. So 24 plus... Wait a minute. Let's wait a minute. No, sorry. This is inspect. It's radius 32 inches. And this is length 28 inches. Okay, it's not a half. Sorry. Okay, so yeah, 28 inches is what I need. Roughly. So yeah. So 30, let's say 32 there, plus the 32 plus the 20. Okay, let's see that. 24 plus 32. 24 plus 32 hose. Alrighty. 24 plus 32. 56 is what I'm looking for. How long have I been? Oh my God. I do apologize. That's going to be so frustrating. Okay. Mistakes happen. All right. Let's see. Drawing app. There we go. We're on. Sorry. Okay. Is that it? All right. That's about as big as it's going to be. All right. All right. Oh, I only have my webcam on. I don't actually have a streaming cam. Give me a second. Let me just add my DSLR to this. Add source. DSLR. Add source. Whoops. That's big. Webcam. Remove. Yes. I want to add that in right there. Shrink this boy down. Okay. My apologies for that. Okay, so what are all the things that I'm going to need right now? So I'm going to do a, let's also make sure that I have my pencil charged and also ready to go. Pencil is 0%. All right, let's chat a little bit. All right, so I'm going to need a bill of materials, which is basically just what I'm going to be purchasing. I'm also going to need to figure out what my cuts are. So how many cuts am I going to need to do at Home Depot? And then also at home is how many cuts am I going to need to... When I say at home, I mean my studio. But how many cuts at the studio am I going to need to do? And I think that's where I'm going to end it today. So that's what I'm going to do. And again, I apologize for anyone that has watched the live stream. No one will be. But or anyone that's going to watch this live stream in the future, you're just going to listen to me and it's going to be blank or black for many, many minutes. I hope not. I really hope not. I hope I didn't screw up that badly. Yeah, I really hope I didn't screw that up that badly. That's going to be really frustrating. Especially the fact that I'm like typing in numbers. Yeah, I am going to need to get a stream deck, I guess. Oh, man. Man, oh, man. I'm sorry. Lessons learned. I never thought that, like, putting in values while I'm working in Fusion 360 would actually be changing the screen, or rather the camera views. So we'll do that. All right. All right. Pencil should be charged just enough to work on. All right. We're good. All right. Undo. So what am I going to need here? So we're going to have bill of materials. So I'm going to need to have hose, and that is going to be inside of the machine. I'm going to need 56 inches at least. So I'm going to need another, I don't know, maybe another 36 to that. Plus 36. So we're looking at 92. Let's say 8 feet. Just make it even. 8. No, not 8 feet. 8 inches. 8 feet. All right. And it's going to be by, I don't know what the diameter is. So that I'm going to double check at the studio. I'm going to need Pocket hole screws. All right, I'm gonna need 1/2 inch pocket hole screws. I'm gonna need 1 inch foam, and that I'm also gonna have to measure on the CAD. I'm gonna need plexi, so acrylic. I'm just gonna call that plexi, and I'm gonna need how much of that? I'm gonna get the, what is it, 500 pack? Okay. Plexi, I'm going to have to also measure what I need, but I'm also going to have to see what thickness it is to then adjust everything and that kind of stuff. Plywood. Whoops. Can't spell. Plywood, I'm going to need 2 times 4x8 at 1/2 inch. All right. So I'm going to need 2 of those. And I'm going to also need sanding pads. Pads for the palm sander. Multi-pack. I'm just going to do the multi, if I can find the multi-pack of the different sizes or different grits. Sorry. All right, that's my bill of material. Home Depot cuts. Home Depot cuts. I'm going to need 1, 2, 3, 3 cuts at 28.25 on 1 sheet, and 1 cut at 28.25 on sheet number 2. Okay. So those will be cuts A, B, C, and cut G, I believe. Cut G. All right. All right. And then cut list. All right, so that'll be A, will be 28.25, Home Depot. B, 28.25, Home Depot. C, 28.25, Home Depot. D will be Studio, and that'll be a 27, right? First 27. Okay. And then A, B, C, D, E. E will be the 7 and 3/8 Studio. And then F will be the other 7 and 3/8 at the Studio. So those will then be the front, back, sorry, not the front. That'll be top, back, left, front left, nope, wrong. that's going to be part, like one cut for it. And this is going to be that left, and this is going to be, nope, also wrong. Here, let me fix that. That's going to be front. That's going to be the last cut for the front. This is going to be front left. It's going to be front right. And then I'm going to have G will be at another 28.25, and that's going to be at Home Depot. So Home Depot, Home Depot, Home Depot, Home Depot, just so I can remember that. And that is, and then H is going to be, again, 27. So that's going to be at the studio, and that's going to be... Am I okay? That's not front, that's left. Left. And then this is going to be right. There we go. Now Andre's brain makes sense now. Okay. And that's going to be all the parts. And that's going to be top, back, front. So front, right, front, left, left, and right. And we're good there for all the cuts. Right. Also, I'm just going to rename my sheets alpha and beta, or alpha and omega. Sure. Just so that way we can keep them separate. Okay. And then, so parts. Whoops. Parts. I'm going to need part number 1 is going to be 28.28 and a quarter. Let's just keep everything. 28 and a quarter by 48 will be top. And I'm going to need to do plus a cutout. Okay. And then part number 2 will be 28 and a quarter plus, sorry, not plus, no, by 48, and that'll be the back. No cutouts for that one. Number 3 will be 28. Can I not write 28 and 28 and a quarter by 27? And that'll be the left. And I don't think I need anything for the left or the right. I was thinking about the potential for them to be like removable parts, like removable panels in case I needed it, but I feel like that would be really hard given the fact that I'm going to need to mount a computer mechanism or computer arm. So I am going to think about that as I'm putting it together and buying the parts. So actually I'm going to go back up to my bill of materials here and also add in computer arm lights. There's also something I need to add in. Camera. I need to think about what to do about the camera. I have access to now 3 iPhones. So my own that I use. My partner's old iPhone, her sister's old iPhone, and so her sister's partner also has 2 iPhones that I can use. So I'm gonna get those as well. So those are probably gonna be studio cameras. So I don't need anything super fancy, and in fact, I kind of want something a little shittier, like an actual a shitty webcam for the router. So then that way, I can plug that in. So that I can plug that in, and I think that's what I'm gonna need a, yeah, let me remove that and just put webcam. Webcam. Okay. It's 12:30, so I think by 1 o'clock I'm gonna be heading out the door, but I'm gonna finish the live stream pretty soon. I'm gonna go online and I'm gonna go get some of these things or order some of them so I can see what I can get. We'll see. But yeah, also my goal is to get to the studio, take some more measurements, and then get to Home Depot, and specifically the Home Depot that I want to get to. So I'm gonna just bike up there, which is all uphill from my studio. It's so much fun. Okay. All right. Let's see what else do we got here. Okay. Should I continue the parts? Sure. Just to be pedantic, I'll finish that up. And they're gonna be front and left will be 7 3/8 by 28 1/4. I'm glad that everything's kind of like landing up to be the same kind of height, which is super good. That's gonna be front left. Number 5 is gonna be 7 3/4 by 28 1/4. I just noticed 1/4 front right. And number 6, part number 6 will be 28 1/4 by 27, and that's going to be right. Okay, and this is going to be all plywood. Ooh, hinges. I almost forgot. I gotta add more parts to my bum. Hinges. Nope, I can't spell hinges. Jeez. Hinges. What are those called? Airsoft? You know the one, like, they're like words. Spring, no, air, not spring loaded. What are they called? It's like compressed air. Oh my God. Whatever. Air hinges. I'm gonna know what I mean. That I'm also gonna need some smaller screws, which I think I have, but they're gonna have to be button heads. Really short. Oh, speaking of screws, here when I said 1/2 inch pocket hole screws, those are actually they're probably going to be longer than 1/2 inch screws. They're going to be for 1/2 inch material. So I do know that, so that's why I'm not going to make that mistake. I'm going to look for specifically the material that it needs to be, and so the right length of it that it needs to be. But just so that in case you're watching, you don't think, oh, I just need half inch pocket hole screws. So for pocket hole screws, you look on the back for what the thickness of material you need, and so when you know the thickness of material, that'll then tell you down the line what like how much how long the screws will need to be. So there's a little chart on all the products, so you just got to do that. Okay. What else am I missing here? Hose, pocket hole screws, foam, plexi, plywood, sanding pads, computer arm, lights, webcam, hinges, air hinges, magnets. No, I've got some magnets. I'm okay for that. I can use those. I can use magnets. I'm mean, handles, I have a couple models that I can just 3D print, but I also have a handle from the enclosure that I was building for my 3D printer. So I'm gonna use that. I've got another pack of that, so I can use that. Oh, shoot. What else do I need? What other sort of accoutrement? I mean, I do need a computer for this, but I am trying to see. Oh, you know what I could probably do? I'm gonna go online and see if I can find the old MagSafe chargers for an old MacBook that I have, MacBook Pro that I have, like an old one. And that should be fine because I think it just needs to be web-based. I think some of the apps that I'm going to be using, controllers, are going to be web-based. So I'm going to have to look into software as well that I need to use. So that's another thing in the near future. I think my goal for today is going to be finishing this, going to the studio, double checking on that, going to Home Depot, doing some investigation on that, coming back, taking a break, and then continuing the build of the CNC. See the CNC build. So then by this weekend, I checked in with my pal. He is good to be available this weekend, so we can go pick it up. All of the materials. Let's go. All right. I guess I'm gonna leave you all here on that. And I guess a budgeting of all of this is going to have to happen. But I think the cost of plywood is going to be, I think I saw it at $65 right there. $65 for a sheet of plywood. So that's $120. $120 American, 65, 130 plus tax, say 150. $150 worth of plywood. Yeah. Hoits. It hurts. It definitely hurts. All right. And that's just 1/2 inch, not even the 3/4 inch. I might, while I'm going with my buddy, pick up a couple sheets of the 3/4 inch plywood if they have some nice stuff. Just so I can have for a couple more projects. That is the miter and table saw that I want to flip cart that I want to build. A flip cart for a bandsaw and drill press. At some point, making a lathe and mini lathe and a mini mill cart as well is going to be something that I want to do. Yeah. Sander. I think I'm going to do a sander, and if I can, I'll do a sander and table router. But I think those are going to be just tools that I like put away up on the shelf and bring down when I need to on the occasion. And I think my workbench, I'm going to open it up and figure out what to do with the tool cabinet, tool drawers, and just put a planer under there. I think that's going to be my plan, is just have a planer. So ideas of things that I want to do at the studio once I get the CNC up and running. Nothing that I do seems to be easy. Nothing that I do seems to go fast. I don't know. My life is complicated. I don't know why. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I make things too complicated. But it doesn't matter because I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep working on what I want to work on. This is not a business yet. And given that it's not a business, I'm going to just keep going at it. And wow, I just noticed my teeth look really bad. If you can see that. That's gross. My apologies. So I'm going to keep my mouth closed while I talk then. Yeah. Oh, shit. Oh, maybe I should do something with my teeth. Now I'm feeling self-conscious. No. I can't. I'm a weird person. Yeah. Doesn't matter. Gotta keep going. Also, my hair's messed up. It's the morning. Well, morning-ish, afternoon-ish. I slept in late. So I gotta do something with my hair. I should have been studio ready, but I'm not. I don't care. Don't care. Yeah, all these videos are gonna be cringeworthy in the future if I do get any better at this stuff. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. All right. Thanks again for watching. Again, I apologize for the super long period where there was no cameras or anything like that. Yeah, live and learn, I guess, right? So I do need to get a Stream Deck, or even build a Stream Deck at some point, or something like that, or maybe get a cheap one, just enough for for macros and those kind of things. Thanks again, and I will be on again at some point soon, and I'm continuing to record.